Welcome back, everyone. I am Psycho Emerald. Today I'm back with another Back to the Future NECA figure review. It has been a little while since I've done a Back to the Future figure review. I love collecting Back to the Future figures, but it's been a little while. I don't get them as often as I get like Star Wars and Marvel stuff. But I'm very excited for this figure. I've wanted this for a very long time. I'm excited to add it to my collection. This is the Back to the Future Part 2 2015 Marty McFly. This figure looks awesome. I did not spend my own money on this. This was generously gifted to me by my parents for Christmas, and I'm really excited to open it, as I said. And I'm pretty excited for the new Doc Brown that came out recently, the Part 2 Doc Brown to have go with this guy. Maybe eventually I'll get that. We shall see. And if I do, it'll be on the channel. But for this review, let's check out the box first. But if we open it up, you can see you got Marty McFly with all of his accessories in there. You can't see it too well because of all the glare, but we'll get him out of the box very soon. But it does have kind of this cool, like, 2015 Hill Valley backdrop to it. We got this cool photo of him with the hoverboard and the secondary head sculpt on there. And if we go to the sides, we've got the Back to the Future Part 2 logo. We've got the DeLorean. This is not the flying DeLorean, doesn't look like, but oh well, still a DeLorean. Ultimate Marty McFly. The same stuff on this side. Then over here, we've got another promotional shot of the figure. We've got all these other figures, which I do have Biff Tannen and Marty McFly. I have done other Back to the Future figure reviews on my channel, as I said earlier. So if you want to check those out, they will be linked up in the card up there. So I do have 1985 Marty McFly and 1955 Biff Tannen. So I'm excited to add this guy to the collection. So we have Back to the Future Part 2 logo, Ultimate Marty McFly, and it says, Marty McFly and Doc Brown experience the adventure of a lifetime in an unlikely time machine as they travel to the past, present, and future, setting off a time-shattering chain reaction that disrupts the space-time continuum. And then it proceeds to let you know all the different accessories that are included. This is the 35th anniversary collection, and it says collect them all, which I wouldn't mind doing. But yeah, then down here we got more logos: Universal, NECA, Amblin, looks like, and Real Toys. Top of the box, Back to the Future Part 2, Ultimate Marty McFly, the DeLorean right there with the little warning. And we've got this cool artwork, which is the cover or the poster for Back to the Future Part 2, Back to the Future Part 2 logo, and the 35th anniversary sticker in the corner there. And yeah, that should be it. So let's get this figure out of the package. All right, so here's the figure and all the accessories. So first impressions, I'm pretty impressed with it. I like the sculpt and I like the outfit and everything. It's definitely working for me. But still, as was an issue with the last Marty McFly figure I reviewed, and will probably be an issue with all the Marty McFly figures that I'm going to review, the head sculpt, it does not look like Michael J. Fox, like at all. It doesn't look like him. It can be the character of Marty McFly, but even if the head sculpt does look like a human being, it does look pretty good. It looks realistic, but it doesn't look like Michael J. Fox. So I've kind of gotten used to it at this point, but I thought I'd point that out, that I still recognize that these head sculpts aren't spot on, and they don't really look hardly anything like Michael J. Fox. But the figure itself can still be good. I like the hat. I like how it's painted in different colors rather than being actually like reflective like it was in the film. But I think that definitely works. You can see the head sculpt under there. Just a nice smiling expression underneath there. It definitely works. Then we've got the pants, which are kind of this light blue color, which is different from the 1985 Marty McFly. And the jacket, you'll have to get it in hand to understand what I'm talking about, but it has a very nice texture to it. I really like it, and it looks very realistic as well. The sleeves are very baggy, the self-tightening sleeves, whatever they're called. And then he's got, of course, the self-lacing Nike sneakers, which don't have the Nike logo on them, obviously, but we know that they're Nike, it's fine. Then back here, still continues the realism back here, and the texture, I still really like that. And you can see his hair back here and the back of the hat. So very cool figure in and of itself, but let's check out the accessories. All right, so to check out the accessories, first let's check out the hoverboard. Let's hope Marty doesn't fall over. Okay, he didn't fall over. So here's the hoverboard, which does look like it looked in the film, minus the Mattel logos that have been replaced with NECA logos, but that works fine for me. Here is kind of the strap that his foot goes into in the film for him to ride on the hoverboard, which can be replaced with this one that his foot can peg into, which is very cool touch, I think. And then on the bottom here, they even create a lot of detail down here on the bottom of the hoverboard, and this can be swapped out and replaced with this, so that you can attach it to the flight stand, which I probably will be doing. I probably will be displaying him on the hoverboard because the old Marty McFly figure has a lot of trouble standing up, so the fact that this one comes with a stand basically as one of the accessories will definitely be useful. Then over here we've got the Pepsi, which is kind of cool. I definitely like it. The Pepsi Perfect, it's called in the film, and it comes in this kind of little tube, how it was delivered in the diner in the film, so very cool. It actually says Peppy, not Pepsi, but it's kind of funny that they had to do that. Same with the fact that they had to remove the Nike logos and replace the Mattel logos. It's kind of funny. There was a lot of product placement in that old movie, wasn't there? But yeah, so there's that. And then over here we've got the swappable hand, which looks like it's for holding something, maybe the Pepsi. I don't really know. It doesn't look like the Pepsi could fit in it, but maybe it can. So we'll see that later maybe. And then here we have the secondary head sculpt, which I've seen some of these secondary head sculpts that just look horrible. Like the paint is just way off and it looks like he's wearing like makeup. It looks terrible, but this one actually looks good. It still doesn't look like Michael J. Fox very much, but it does look pretty good. I will probably be using this when I display him because I want to have him displayed riding the hoverboard. And during the hoverboard scene, he no longer was wearing the hat. So yeah, let's check out the articulation of the figure, and then maybe we'll try out some of these accessories. Alright, so going over the articulation, he can look down and he can tilt side to side, so there's some good articulation on the head, but he cannot look up very far because the hair hits the back of the collar there. But the arms can lift up, and there's a double bend at the elbow, which would get you some good movement there, and there's a swivel and hinge at the wrist, and there's no crunch at the torso, which there was on the 1985 Marty McFly, but there is no articulation at the torso on this one. But his legs can lift forward, and his legs can go backwards, and the pockets back here are sculpted in rubber so that it will move out of the way if you move the leg backwards. Single bend at the knee, which works pretty well, and then a rocker at the ankle and a pivot at the ankles. So that's definitely good articulation for a Marty McFly figure. So let me try to put on the secondary head sculpt, see how that works. That was an adventure. Took me probably half an hour to get this head onto here, and I noticed that every time you try to pop the head off, here, no matter which head it is, it'll always take out the ball peg with it, and I actually had to go get pliers to take that out and put it back into the neck, and then I realized as soon as I pop this thing off that it stays inside the bottom of the head. So that's a bit annoying, because then if I want to swap this head on, I can't, because I have to use pliers to get the ball peg out of the bottom of this head. So that's a little bit of an annoyance. So I popped the head back on here, and yeah, I'm probably going to be keeping this head on most of the time, because I don't even know if it's worth it to try to put this head back on. So that's biggest problem with the figure is the ball peg in the bottom of the neck issue, where, like, yeah, you can swap it on, but it'll take you about 20 minutes just to swap the head off for a different one. So it's probably going to be quite a long time before I decide to try to put this one back on. But that's the only complaint I really have with the figure so far. Okay, so we got the hoverboard, and you can take this piece off and replace it with this piece that has a peg in it, that you can take Marty over here, and you can place his foot on that, and it actually stayed on pretty well. That wasn't too difficult after the whole head swap fiasco. That's very refreshing there to have something that works properly. So yeah, there you could put his foot easily onto that. I don't know, I don't ride skateboards, so I don't know which foot you would technically have on the back of the board, but there you have that. It fits on pretty well, and will probably look good on my display. So let's try the Pepsi. Okay. So that actually works pretty nice. Slips into his hand pretty well. Like, don't try to put it through that gap in the fingers. Try to put it down like that. So like, try to put it in these fingers first, and then work it through so he can hold it between his thumb and his index finger. So that works pretty well. I'm pretty happy with the way that looks. And yeah, let me get him in a cool pose using the hoverboard, and I'll give you guys a closer look at 2015 Marty McFly. Okay, so for my finishing touches on this review, I do have one more complaint with it. It is a bit annoying that the hoverboard is on a ball joint. I understand they wanted it to be more dynamic, so you could kind of move the hoverboard to different angles if you want to, but he's not going to be able to stand up if the hoverboard is at any angle other than perfectly flat the way it is right now. So I think they probably should have just had it be a stand that just held it up straight, flat, so that you could just kind of swivel it around if you wanted to, but it doesn't need to have a ball joint because that just makes it so it doesn't balance very well and it starts to kind of tilt. Like, Marty's probably going to fall over in about 2 seconds right now, honestly, because of the fact that it is on a ball joint and it moves under the weight of the figure. So that's another little complaint, but really overall I've had a positive experience with this figure. It was a gift and I'm very, very happy with it. I've been wanting it for a long time. It'll go great with my other Back to the Future figures. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this review. If you have, please leave a like. I have done other Back to the Future figure reviews that I've linked up in the card, but you can also find that playlist on my channel and find those videos on my channel if you're interested in seeing those. So yeah, hope you guys have found this review helpful. Hope you found it enjoyable, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.